So the story begins all the way back in the fall of 2005. I'm getting ready to start my freshman year of college in a school right outside of Chicago. And I grew up in a very entrepreneurial home. Both my dad and mom were entrepreneurs. And so rather than just get like the normal, 9 to 5 job, it was a beautiful fall outside of Chicago. I told my friends what we should consider doing is, going door to door and offering, to rake people's leaves. I thought we could make more money than minimum wage, have a little bit more freedom. And I thought it would just be fun, everybody working together. And so my little pitch worked, and that's exactly what we began doing. So raking leaves, which, obviously quickly turned into cleaning out people's gutters as well, because, as the leaves are falling, obviously the gutters are going to be impacted. And so we were raking leaves, cleaning out gutters. And I'll never forget, it was around this time I talked to my dad, who is a contractor, and I was telling him, all about, my latest adventure. And he said, what you should consider doing in addition to just cleaning out people's gutters is also installing a gutter guard. And I remember asking what's a gutter guard? And he said, well, essentially it's like a device that goes on the top of the gutter that keeps debris from getting in. So, homeowners just never have to clean them out. And I remember thinking that is the most brilliant invention ever. Because keep in mind, we were the ones getting paid to clean out gutters. And it wasn't something that we were necessarily juiced about doing. So I couldn't imagine from a homeowner's perspective, you're not getting paid to do this. You have to do it multiple times a year. Oh, and by the way, you have to do this also on your day off. I thought, wow, a gutter guard is, a real benefit to a homeowner. So I took that idea and just ran with it. And so fast forward through college, I end up graduating. And upon graduating, I have a couple different career paths, that I can go down. But I really have this desire to want to start a company. So my wife and I talk, and we decide that we're going to start our very own gutter guard company, which became Gutter Guard Experts. And we were going to be the company that was going to research and test and find the best systems that are out there and only offer premium gutter protection. And so from that point forward, I had the opportunity of installing probably every major brand of gutter guard that's out there. If you can think of the name of a gutter guard, I've either installed it or worked on it at some point in my career. And so even though we were focused on installing, the very best systems that were out there, at the end of the day, I just was never satisfied with either the performance, or the quality of the systems that we were installing. So sometimes we would be installing these systems that would be made out of really good quality, but there was just something in the design that wasn't making it really perform very good. Or on the other end of the spectrum, we had systems that were brilliantly, designed and engineered, but they were made out of the most chintzy material that the first branch or hailstorm or even somebody setting a ladder up against their gutters, pretty much damaged the stuff. And so I never really felt there was a product that kind of combined both things into a single design. And so it was, at that point that I decided to basically start compiling everything that I learned and everything that I liked about different products, and I was going to combine them into a single kind of ultimate gutter guard design, which, after 3 years, 7 prototypes, dealing with engineers from the US and Germany, became our patented system, the 2.0 Pro. And, we're super proud of the 2.0 Pro because we really feel it delivered on giving the homeowner a premium quality product, literally the last gutter guard they'll ever have to buy. And not only does it perform better than all of the leading systems that are out there, but we also designed the 2.0 Pro with the installer in mind. And so, being a gutter guard installer myself, I would see firsthand that, most products out there, they weren't failing just because, say, the product wasn't very good. They were failing because they were actually improperly installed. And so what I began to learn, very early on when I was installing a lot of different systems is that most products out there are designed by people or manufacturers who have probably not done very many gutter guard installations. And so they end up creating a product that's kind of a one-size-fits-all product when, as well as I do, that there's no truly one-size-fits-all, gutter in every situation. And so what ends up happening for most installers is they'll take the path of least resistance when something isn't fitting right and just install something improperly, which, obviously can do damage to the home. So I wanted to design something that was going to be easy and adaptable for the installer, like an installer's dream, and just about make it kind of difficult to do a bad installation. Because I really felt like if I could create a premium product that truly outperformed everything else, was easy and adaptable to install, I could really kind of raise the likelihood that our system was going to perform as we promised. And so that, in a nutshell, is the 2.0 Pro story. Premium quality, highest performing, and last gutter guard you'll ever have to buy.